Good evening and welcome to the Carnegie Town Hall. This meeting of the City Planning Commission will begin with a few introductory remarks. The City of Sioux Falls Planning Commission serves as an advisory board to the City Council. It is the responsibility of the Planning Commission to consider and make recommendations on land use and zoning matters. Actions taken tonight on conditional use permits are final unless appealed to the City Council in writing within 5 days. And any actions taken tonight on final development plans or minor amendments are final. Any recommendations made on preliminary subdivision plan requests tonight will be referred to the City Council for final action at the third council meeting of this month. Any recommendations made on rezone requests, major amendments, future land use amendments, or ordinance amendments tonight will be referred to the City Council for final action at the first council meeting of next month. Council meetings are held at 7 p.m. here in Carnegie Town Hall and are televised. The Planning Commission will first approve the consent agenda and then the regular agenda. In order to place certain non-controversial items on the Commission's consent agenda, Planning staff and Planning Commission apply the following criteria. First, the request conforms with Shape Sioux Falls 2035 Comprehensive Plan. Second, Planning staff recommends approval of the request. Third, there are no audience members present or written comments received in opposition to the request. And fourth, the application meets all conditions and requirements of the Sioux Falls zoning ordinance. Once the consent agenda has been approved, those agenda items have been approved and members of the public are free to leave. For the regular agenda, the following normal public hearing procedure will be followed for each item. By first requesting planning staff to present a brief report on that item. Second, the petitioner or representative will be requested to come forward and make a statement or answer questions. After the petitioner has spoken, anyone from the audience who wishes to address the agenda item shall be recognized. Then the Planning Commission will discuss the matter further and take appropriate action. We ask that anybody addressing the Planning Commission move to the podium microphone, identify themselves, and state their address for the record. Please limit your comments to less than 5 minutes. And as a courtesy to everyone here tonight, we ask that you either turn off or silence your electronic devices. This meeting is being televised on Channel 16 and will be rebroadcast Saturday at 10 a.m., Tuesday at 7 p.m., Wednesday at 1 a.m. Thank you for your cooperation. The first item tonight is the approval of the consent agenda, and I'll read those items. Number one is the approval of the February 3rd, 2010 minutes of the regular meeting. Item two are the approval of plats. Item three is a rezone from AG Agricultural District to the C4 Planned Commercial District for allowed uses at 6300 South Tallgrass Avenue. Number four is a major amendment to the Whisper Ridge Planned Development District to expand Subarea B boundaries by including the subject parcels at South Southeastern Avenue and Whisper Trail. Item number five is a major amendment to Subarea C and F to move the subject parcel from Subarea C to Subarea F to reflect existing uses at 8000 East Arrowhead Parkway. Item number six is a final development plan in Subarea B of the Whisper Ridge Planned Development District to construct 4-unit residential buildings at South Southeastern Avenue and Whisper Trail. And finally, item seven is a final development plan in Subarea D of the Good Samaritan National Center Planned Development District to construct a 32-unit assisted living center at the corner of West Creekside Drive and West Creekside Circle. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that wishes to have any of those consent agenda items moved to the regular agenda? Seeing none, are there any planning commissioners that would like to have any of the consent agenda items moved to the regular agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Here.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, same sign. The consent agenda is approved. If your item was on the consent agenda, you're free to leave. The next item is item number 8, the first item on the regular agenda, staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. My name is Dave Loveland. I'm with the Planning Office, and I'll be representing this in a later item this evening. The applicant is Larry Crane with Perspective Incorporated. He has requested to rezone from the C4 Planned Commercial District in the RA2 Residential District to Subarea A of the Minnehaha County Courthouse Planned Development District. He's made this request in order to extend the existing Planned Development District to include additional parcels which are currently owned by Minnehaha County. The area in question is about 1.18 acres in size. As noted, the existing zoning is C4 and RA2. Existing land uses include some residential properties and vacant area. Abutting zoning and land uses include RA2 residential to the north, to the east, and to the west across Minnesota Avenue, and those have a compatibility rating of about 4. And to the south is Subarea A of the Minnehaha County Planned Development District with a compatibility rating of 5. The zoning district acreage is, as noted, the current parcel consists of about 0.86 acres of the RA2 zoning and 0.32 acres of the C4 commercial district for the sum total of 1.18 acres, and that in its entirety would be included in the Planned Development District. The proposed regulations, Subarea A of the Minnehaha County Courthouse PD include, those regulations are similar in nature to those of the S Institutional District, which is typically used for educational, health, and government institutions. The location of the subject property is at the northeast corner of West 3rd Street and South Minnesota Avenue, and there are transit routes located within 600 feet, but direct access to the site will come from West 3rd Street. If approved, the Minnehaha County Courthouse PD will border medium-density residential on the north and east sides of the district boundaries. This land use transition from institution to medium-density residential is largely compatible, but has a potential for minor issues related to parking, buffering, and scale. By including this parcel into the Planned Development District, the Planning Commission will have the opportunity to work with future development projects to ensure compatibility is obtained with surrounding land uses. Utilization of architecture and landscape design should be considered in the final design of the site. But because the subject application does not negatively impact surrounding properties and expands the county PD onto additional county property, staff recommends approval of the rezoning. I can take any questions.
Any questions for staff?
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Is the petitioner here this evening?
Good evening. My name is Larry Crane of Perspective, address 3405 South Klein Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Our project is fairly straightforward. We are looking for a future development opportunity for a project called Project Safe Home, and with that it's in the process of being worked out in the detail. But tentatively it's 34 units for low income or habitually homeless people to give them an opportunity to have a home and take advantage of the city and the county services that are part of that planning district. Again, the details are still in the process of being worked out, but this is our first step. So if there are any questions, I'd like to field them as you wish.
Any questions for Dave or Larry?
Larry, what's your timetable? You've got, 2 buildings you're going to have to take down up there?
Two, yes. The timetable depends on funding. The goal is to start work early summer, late spring, and with that, that's when the buildings would come down or be moved off. The buildings that are there are tired, and to put it nicely, and hopefully there's a revitalization opportunity to do that. From that point on, then we are looking to work through the summer and the fall to be occupied by late winter, early spring the following year. So a 12-month construction project, if things fall in line accordingly.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Larry? Guess not. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to address item number 8? Seeing none, is there commission action?
Mr. Chair, I move for approval of item number 8.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, item number 9, staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. My name is Steve Randall with the Planning Department. I'll be representing this item tonight. The application here, the location on Cliff Avenue, was previously a casino and on-sale alcohol establishment known as the Dewdrop Inn, but the property was transferred ownership and redeveloped as Hooligans. And at the present time, the applicant, J. Sim, would like to transfer an alcohol license to that location for video lottery. The application package includes the aerial photograph, the zoning map, a floor plan, and the applicant has submitted a security management plan for review by the police department. The applicant is proposing to transfer that license to 904 South Cliff, which is only a part of that building. The building owner does not yet have plans for the other part of the building. In talking with the owner, it sounds like it might be an office-type development. In any case, the parking lot is not changing. It's not proposing to change. They do have action by the Board of Adjustment to reduce the parking requirements at that location. As far as we know, there have been no complaints on the parking issue. One of the conditions for approval previously was to post the parking lot with signs requesting that the customers not park on adjacent parking lots. Again, the applicant is intending to rent the south end of the building for the operation of 8 video lottery machines and for a small amount of beer sales. The proposed use has potential conflicts with residential neighborhood to the east. Those issues were addressed in the previous conditional use permit for Hooligans. We believe that the measures taken with the fence, the screen fencing, the posting of signs for the parking, and the primary access to the facility being from the street or to the side rather than from the residential side of the building. Unless there is someone here this evening from the neighborhood, we believe that those issues have been addressed. One of the conditions for approval previously was for that applicant only. Therefore, this current applicant does have to come before you in order to get approved for transfer of the alcohol license. As I mentioned, nothing else is changing. The applicant is willing to discuss with you any questions pertaining to potential impacts on that residential and neighborhood, including business hours, parking, noise, and litter. The property is within 300 feet of similar establishments to the north, the Royal Flush Casino, and south, the VIP Casino, but we believe does not create an undue concentration of similar uses. It is not in an area where children unattended would be expected to frequent, patronize, or recreate. It's primarily accessible by motor vehicle traffic only. And it is compatible with the characteristics of surrounding uses on the commercial side. We've given it a compatibility rating of 3 on the residential side. We believe that the compatibility issues are adequately addressed by the 6-foot-high fence and the separation of the residential area from the entrance to the building. It is not within 2,000 feet of any city park or elementary or secondary school within the city. Therefore, the applicant has provided clarity to indicate location, nature, and extent of the work proposed, and will have to undergo a complete plan check for a change in occupancy by zoning and building services prior to obtaining occupancy, and staff is recommending approval. We'd like to carry forward a couple conditions for approval. First, that the security management plan currently being reviewed is approved. Second, that the conditional use permit is valid for this tenant only, similar to the previous condition. And third, that there will be signs posted, continue to be posted, telling customers not to park in the neighbors' parking lots. We've received no calls, and the applicant is here to answer any questions. Staff concludes its report.
Any questions for Steve?
Mr. Chair. Steve, there's currently a business in there by the name of Hooligans that is currently in operation?
No, I believe the applicant can address the situation there. The transfer of license is pending.
When it talks about, when it says there's a required of 59 parking spaces, is that because of the size of the total building?
Yes, plus the fact it was a multi-tenant facility, so the parking ratio goes up.
So they've been to the Board of Adjustments and
That's correct.
reduced to 27, and there are 27 parking spaces.
Yes, there are.
Thank you, Steve.
Any other questions for Steve? Guess not. Thanks, Steve. Is the petitioner here?
J. Sim, 1504 East 5th, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Jay, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just purchasing this through Sean Doherty. Kind of like you said, we only got 8 machines, so I probably need about 9 or 10 parking spaces. Then Hooligan is closed, and he's going to do something with it. So there shouldn't be any problem with the parking. Hope not.
Any questions for Jay?
Jay, I was just wondering if the business was in operation, we're taking that business
Yes.
over,
Yeah.
you're starting over again from scratch.
Yeah, it'd be an existing business. There's a casino there, Cliffside.
Different name.
Yeah, we're going to change the name down the road.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
Any other questions from planning staff? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience tonight that would like to address item number 9?
My name's Sean Doherty, 3708 South Bedford. I'm the owner of the building. Just to give you a little bit of background of the situation, because it's a little muddy, and I believe spring of '04 is when we purchased the dewdrop from Linda, and what we wanted to do is we went to the north side of the building, and we wanted to open that up into a wing and beer joint. Now, that was done, I think it was December of '04 is when we had to come through the conditional use for that too. There was resistance from at least one neighbor at that time because they didn't want to, expand the bar. I guess my request would be, Hooligans has been shut down for over 2.5 years. That whole north side, which Linda actually used for part of the dewdrop, I'm going to be using probably as a rental agency. Kind of an office space. As soon as I get it fixed up, I've been painting this week. So I guess I don't know if I can do this or not, but if I could, I'd like to request that the condition be dropped that it's just for that tenant only, because going back when we bought it from Linda, it was just a simple transfer, and the reason why it was this tenant only condition on it was just because of the Hooligans part. Now that Hooligans isn't there anymore, I figured I would take a shot to see if I could get that taken
We
off.
can have planning staff address this, but typically, this is one of the stipulations that becomes part of most conditional use permits, if not all conditional use permits for this type of use.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know if it was standard or not. So.
Just a quick question. So you're going to have an operation on one side of the building, but you plan on taking the other side of the building and having an office there also?
Yes. Yep.
So it'll just be a one-tenant building, kind of two businesses in the building?
Well, I'm not going to. He's going to have the casino. I'm going to have the rental space. So two tenants, I guess.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Sean?
Just one more. What is in the adjacent building then that's on is that the north?
That's a small engine repair shop.
Okay.
They do lawnmowers and snowblowers and things like that.
Is that attached, so it's part of that building?
No.
Or is that, okay?
No, it
Completely
about
separate?
that much space between
All
them.
right.
I think they call that zero lot line.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Sean? I guess not. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Is there anyone else? I guess not. Commission action?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion for approval with 3 stipulations on item 9.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Do we need to, Meredith, address the issue about approval for another?
I'd be surprised because the conditional use is specific to the casino, isn't it, Steve? And the use that Sean's proposing in the other half of the building may be perfectly acceptable with current zoning.
So would the condition as far as the casino require our approval for another one?
Yes. Under this item and the stipulation, if this casino changed hands again, the next owner or operator would have to come and ask for another conditional use permit.
That's correct, because the address given is 904, and the other address in that building is 906.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, same sign. Item number 9 is approved. Item 10, staff report.
Good evening again. Item number 10 is an ordinance amendment that would amend Section 15.63 of Appendix B of the zoning ordinance, and it deals primarily with the zoning board of adjustment. The Board of Adjustment is a 5-member body whose purpose is to adjust certain zoning standards that cause hardship to individual landowners. The zoning ordinance requires an affirmative vote of 3/4 of the members to approve petitions or appeals, and that requirement translates into an affirmative vote being required of 4 of the 5 members. South Dakota codified law requires a concurring vote of 2/3 of the members to approve an item and translates into affirmative votes being required of 3 of the 5 members. The Board of Adjustment has reviewed and recommended approval of the proposed amendment to allow an affirmative vote of 2/3 of the members instead of the 3/4 that currently exists under city ordinance. The request is for the consideration of a local ordinance amendment that will allow a decision in favor of the applicant to be obtained with a simple majority of 3 votes rather than the 4. The reason for this request is twofold. First, ordinary citizens are often confused when a variance is not granted when the majority of the votes are in the applicant's favor. And in the existing situation, a 3 of 5 member affirmative vote does not approve the request. Second, when a member must excuse themselves from a vote, the remaining members must all vote in the affirmative to approve the request. Municipalities can have more restrictive ordinances than that required by state law, but in this case, however, staff believes that a 2/3 affirmative majority is more appropriate than that which is currently required. And because the subject application conforms to state law and provides clarity to applicants and the public, we are recommending approval of the zoning ordinance amendment.
Any questions for David?
Mr. Chair, David, I agree with the motion. Has it always been 4 out of 5?
To my knowledge, yes, it's
The Board of Adjustments has been around for
a long time. Decades. I'm not sure exactly when it was instituted, but
I'll be supporting it. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it hasn't happened before now.
yeah, it's one of those things where it was established as that and at a higher standard, I guess, than state law.
Thank you.
Any other questions of David? I guess not. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Rob, do you have anything to add? Okay. Commission action.
I'll move for approval of the zoning ordinance amendment.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, same sign. Item number 10 is approved. Final item of business tonight is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.